After one of the most chaotic and unpredictable races in the entire history of RPL Tier 3, we're here to start the second half of the season after an absolutely wild race in Canada, which saw Joe Wilson, after not getting a penalty, being one of 3 drivers to do so, grabbed the race win and extended his lead at the top of the championship. But behind him was the Alpine of VRL Mickey, unfortunately not here today, but it just showed how quick that Alpine can be under the right driver. And not Rez ended up having to finish 3rd after he got a 10-second penalty removed, but he still loses ground in the championship. And in terms of the drivers' standings, it's Joe Wilson with a 19-point lead over Not Raz. And they are the main 2 title contenders here. As in 3rd place is ARX Biscuit, who isn't even here today, to my knowledge. And he's not here. So that'll almost end his chances. Behind them is SV, who is 40 points back in 4th place, currently sat on 50 points. But it is go time for qualifying. Our first 2 cars go out onto the track, and it's the return of 2 different drivers. EXO making his debut in F125, his first race in Tier 3 this season. And just behind him, it's RPL Ardell, also making his first race in 2025 on this game. We'll see how both of them get along. But as EXO is the first one out, we will watch him first. Of course, we are here at Spain, if you couldn't tell. Round 6 of RPL Tier 3 Season 5. The second half of the season is officially underway. And I think it'll be very exciting to see if Notraz could take the fight to Wilson today. It's something he definitely needs if he wants to stay in this title fight, because as it currently stands, Red Bull are running away with it. Speaking of Red Bull, we'll have a look at the constructors' standings as EXO will start his first lap, and the first lap of qualifying. We'll go on board with him through the first sector. Turn 1, braking almost at the 50-meter board, very light braking. There's a piece of some sort of wing on the apex at turn 2. Nice and clean for EXO through the first couple corners. Ooh, a little bit of lag. Actually, a bit of lag. As we see EXO go through, I believe this is turn 5. Hope that's not my internet. I do have a lot of devices going right now. Anyways, through 7 and 8, on the way to turn 9. Is he flat out? Yes, he is. Even the Williams is flat out through turn 9. As the Mercedes lets him go. That is SV's Mercedes, because it's the only Mercedes in the lobby. Through 12, then the final 2 corners of 13 and 14 should be flat out. And they are, even with the overtake button enabled, and he's gone a little bit deep, a 13-1, but unfortunately he's invalidated, which means we turn to Ardell, see if he can set a valid lap, and it looks like he's backed off on his. So we'll have to move on to someone else. Looks like we have extra washed silly ... His name is so long, I don't even know what his full name is, but he comes out of the final corner, get a nice toe from Ardell, and he's going to set a 12.9 as the benchmark. And Rhythms goes a little bit quicker with a 12.9. Let's see what AMS Devon is able to do, and he does a 12.2. Already into the low 12s in the early parts of this qualifying. Another car to cross the line is El Mythic in the V-Carb. He got demoted from Aston Martin, and he's invalidated. That's his lap done. That's 2 invalidations coming out of the final corner. Normally not a corner I would consider as one where you'd invalidate a lot, but let's see if SV can keep it clean as he comes through the final corner now. He keeps it clean, the ERS light is blinking, and he's 1/10 off of AMS Devon. Not too shabby. Here's Not Raz coming out of the final corner. Let's see what he's able to do. We have a slow car in turns 11 and 12. Well, that car's moving. And a slow car in 7 and 8 as well. That is Devon, I believe. Here's Not Raz, though, through the first couple quarters. Let's see what he can do through the first sector as Ryan splits the Haas's. But Ardell pits after having something go wrong on his lap. Dylan sets a 12.3 in the McLaren. That's good enough for second fastest. Purple first sector for Not Raz. Good start to the lap for him. Let's see if he can continue this. And, ooh, SV has lagged out. Unless I have lagged out. No, SV has. The lobby host lags out of the lobby. That's not ideal. And here is Not Raz through turn 10. Through 12. 2 more corners to go now. 13 and 14. Let's see what Not Raz can do on this lap. Out of the final corner. Keeps it valid. And it's a 12.3, which will put him right with SV and Dylan. Here's a McLaren of Isha. He's got himself a McLaren seat. And a lot of cars coming into the pits at the moment. But here's Tinbed coming across the line. He's dropped himself to the Williams after one too many poor performances this season. But it's a respectable 8th so far for the Williams driver. And I will go ahead and send SV an invite. So, unfortunate for SV, but we'll get him back soon. We got the Sauber. I was about to call that an Alfa Romeo, but that is a Sauber of Maddie starting a lap. Let's see if anybody else is finishing a lap. We do. It is El Mythic, and oh, good heavens! Dearie me. It's not the end to the lap that Mythic would have wanted. Went completely wide out of the final corner. That's the second time he's done that. Scorch goes 6th, Rhythm 7th. Not a bad showing from the Aston Martin pair. Bezestio is on an outlap. Not Raz pits. But here we have Wilson getting ready to start a lap. 12.8 for his first run. Oh, no, but he's backed out. Okay. You better hope he doesn't do that in the actual race, because that could pose problems. The in-lap. And Isha does a 12.7. We just caught him crossing the line. 12.7 is good enough for 5th fastest so far. Half a second. I think that's more than half a second, actually, between the top guys. Half a second between the top 5 drivers so far. Here's Maddie coming out of the final corner now. Let's see what he's able to do. It's a 21.9. Looks like he may have backed out at some point during the lap. Titan, who is actually racing for once. Normally he's not able to race the Tier 3 races. So it's good to see him actually in the car, as he's on an in-lap. And let's see who's not on an in-lap. It's Ardell sliding through turn 7. Caught out by the rear traction of the Haas. Not the best car on the grid. I believe it is 7th or 8th fastest, actually. Let's see, he is just a cheeky 16 seconds up on his current personal best. Coming through 12 now. Trying to keep it tidy here. Let's see if Ardell can keep this lap valid as we come through the final corner. Turn 14. He has to do a dab of brake. Loses the back end. And he's done a 13.5. A bit scuffy in the third sector, but if he can find a little bit of improvement in that, he'd actually be looking pretty good. And We have a ghosting EXO coming through turn 7 now. I wonder why he's ghosted. That's interesting. Doesn't look like an AI driving. But we'll watch the end of this lap here from EXO. I see Twitch chat now. If you guys want to give your predictions on how you think the rest of this qualifying session will go, by all means. But EXO's invalidated as he crosses a line, and it would have been a 13-0, which would have put him in P11, as Devin goes fastest of all. Great lap for him. Zestio elects to come into the pits. But let's watch Wilson. Let's see if he can get himself up into the front of the field. He's currently sat in the lower ends of the top 10 in P7 at the moment. So let's see what he can do here. Using a lot of ERS here down the pit straight. Already down to 65% on the battery. Shorts is thinking a Red Bull 1-2 with SV third. Interesting. And 2/10 up already is Wilson through Sector 1. This is a good start to the lap. He caught a little bit of the grass entering turn 4, though. So that'll probably hinder his lap time by just a little bit. But here we go. Through 6 and 7. Or no, that's 7 and 8. My bad. Through turn 9. Should be easy flat in a Red Bull. And it is. DRS activated going down this back straight. Into turn 10. How high is he up? He's up 2.5 tenths. It's a good start to this lap for Wilson. Let's see if he can finish it off strong. Bit of traffic ahead. That is a Ferrari of Notraz, who is starting a lap. But here we go. Through the final 2 corners. What can Wilson do? Through the final corner we come. He's got no battery left in the car, but he'll catch a toe off of Notraz, and it's 4th fastest for Wilson. And Notraz has left the session. That's not good. I believe I had him added, though, so I can get him an invite. Or can I? Okay, I guess I don't have Notraz added. Oh well. Oh well, we'll live with it. But Devin P1, we have Dylan P2, which, speaking of Dylan, he's on a lap right now as well as he comes into turn 10. And he's up by a little less than a tenth, but if he can find just a couple hundredths here through the final sector, that could be enough to see him on pole position. I don't think Dylan's ever had a win in RPL. He has had a long time in this league, one of its original members. As he rounds the final corner, it is a 12-1. Dylan on pole position now. Get Rex 91. P1. How about that for him? Notraz is in the pits. We have Zestio starting a lap, but we have Scorch ending a lap here. Let's see what Scorch can do here through the final couple corners. Flat out, barely keeps it valid. And a 12-7. Finds time, but he does not improve on his position. Mythic's on a cooldown. I believe it's just Zestio on a lap done. So we will have a look and see what he can get. Get Wrecked is Dylan Shorts. He is one of the original members of RPL. RPL icon, if you will. But here's Zestio coming through turns 7 and 8 here. Let's see what the Ferrari driver can do. See if he can propel himself into the top 4. 3/10 improvement would see him on the pole position. We'll have a look at the actual gaps now. Up almost a tenth. This could see him potentially in the SV Wilson range, if he can find a little bit more time. Here comes Zestio through the final 2 corners. Can he keep it valid? Overtake button on, and he's run out of fuel. I think he's run out of fuel or something. No, he just derated a lot there going through the final 2 corners. Kept it in 8th through the final turn, which is interesting. And I believe that's what's costed him a lot of time there. He could have jumped definitely jumped not Raz, but in the end he didn't. Let's have a look at Ryan here in the Sauber. Missed out on last week's race. He's here today, though. Let's see if he can find time. Out of the final corner we come, and he's jumped his teammate, Maddie. Ryan up to P13 in the Sauber. Here we have Mythic, who is up a 10th in a bit. Let's see what he can do through the final few corners. I believe him and Exo are both on laps as well. And he's done it again as Mythic! He's done it again through the final corner. No improvement found. Exo will finally get a valid lap in, and it's good enough for 7th fastest. That's a great time there from Exo, who is still ghosted on my screen, and I don't get it. But great lap from him. Isha still not on a lap yet. Who is on a lap, though, is Supervillain. I believe he's the only one on a lap so far. Exo, though, 7th fastest for Williams, only 4/10 off pole position. That is a stellar time for him, who's only just gotten the game. Well, let's have a look at Supervillain here. He is the last car to set a valid lap time. Ironically, Supervillain also has the RPL icon role, so you can battle that one shorts. But through the final 2 corners we come. Let's see what Supervillain is capable of. Out of the final turn we come. It is going to be a 14.6, which propels him out of last place into second last place. A little improvement goes a long way, I guess. A lot of cars on outlaps, though. Mythic's gone again. He's going to go for another lap time here. I believe we're going to see a lot of these front runners on final runs. I believe Isha, though, is also on a lap. We'll have a look at Isha. Nah, he is starting a lap again. Which I believe... Oh, good heavens! Ryan has had to take avoiding action of some sort. He's in the grass. Took out one of the polystyrene boards as well. That is not ideal for the Sauber driver, as most of our cars are now on track on their final out laps. And Isha's invalidated. All he can do is hope he has enough fuel to do another run. He has the time. He has the ERS. All he has to do is wait. Minute 10, I believe, is left on the clock. There's still a yellow flag, though, so I can't tell. 1 minute left. And SV, I believe, is the first of the main contenders to start a final lap here. Let's see if SV can take, I believe it'd be his 2nd pole position of the season. We'll have a look at race results. This would be his 2nd pole if he gets it. The game says he's purple in the 1st sector. We'll see what other drivers can do as well. Here's Devin coming through as well. He's already got 30% battery life, and he is marginally down on his lap. Let's see how Wilson's doing on his as well. He is also down by almost a 10th. Very interesting. Let's see what SV is. He's really not up that much here. Only 300ths through 2 sectors. Can he find any more time through the final couple corners? He's going to be the first of our main contenders to cross the line here. Time will expire. He'll be the first to cross. And the time is a 12.3. He's improved by 1 millisecond. We'll go to Devin, though, through the final few corners. Can he find time? He's derating on the battery. Almost nothing left in it. And it's going to be a 12.0. Pole position for Devin. Can Wilson do anything about it? He's down a 10th. He's out of battery. He goes faster than SV. He's gone faster. Let's turn to Dylan. He's marginally up. There is a chance at pole here for Dylan in the McLaren. The Sauber gets out of the way. There could be potential dirty air of the Aston in front of him, but he's going to come out of the final corner. Low on battery. Is it pole position? Yes, it is. 12.0. Now we turn to Isha. He's not on a lap. He's done. Here's Vizestio. What can he do? He's in none ERS. He's not improving at all. Isha's done. Pizzastio's done. Notraz is done. Rhythms is done as well. I believe Timbed is the last one on a lap here. And he's backed off as well. And that's gonna do it. Dylan on pole position for McLaren. His first pole position in Tier 3. He's taken the fight to the Red Bulls, and he's beaten them. 800ths between our top two. Championship leader Wilson in third, 2/10 back. SV's done a good job to put the Mercedes in fourth. The two Ferraris, fifth and sixth. Probably not what they would have wanted. They would have wanted more than that. Scorch, though, with a good session there in the Aston Martin to be P7. Eighth is the Haas of Extra Washed. That's all I'm going to call him. Exo 9th, and Isha in the McLaren down in 10th. How about that for Dylan then? His first ever pole in RPL is what he's just confirmed in the Tier 3 chat. First career pole in the entire league for Dylan. Devin second, Wilson third. This could be a very exciting race, and if we look further down the order, get all the cars there for Exo to do the orders. A very exciting session then. P8 and a Haas for oh, okay. That's Resilience in P8. My bad, Resilience. I didn't even know you changed your name. So, race predictions, throw them in if you please. Short says Devin, Exo, podium and a Williams incoming. And I see a lot of clouds. Extra washed Resilience because Resilience is extra washed. Let's see if Resilience can end the washed allegations today. We shall see, but we'll have a look at the orders and see what tires everybody will be going for. Let's see, mediums for the top three, softs on SV's car, Bezestio Scorch on softs as well, as is Exo. A fair number of soft runners here, so we could be having a two-stop on our hands. Rhythm's on the hards, and he's the only one that I see on a hard. He is. So a mixture of medium and soft, followed by Rhythm's on a hard. Interesting strats here. Nothing on rain just yet. But we should be getting ready to start here very soon. Lobby was told to ready up at 12:20 or at 25. And SV has confirmed 0 chance of rain for this race. It will remain dry for the duration of the Grand Prix. Good to know. Thank you, SV. Yeah, no rain for this race. Just some clouds in the sky. All England in the top 3. And guys should be running up soon. Looks like everybody's switched away from those soft tires. It's all mediums. And then we have Rhythms on hard. And here we go. It's time to bring the action here for the second half of Tier 3. And it's lights out and away we go. It's a good launch from Devin. He's gotten far ahead of Dylan. Oh, goodness me. Devin ahead of Dylan. Red Bull 1-2 entering turn 1. And oh, dearie me, Isha's sent one. But it's Devin ahead of Wilson. Dylan third. Notrez fourth. The Aston Martin of Scorch trying to take the fight to the Mercedes and the Ferraris. Side by side behind them as well. Rhythms and Ardell. SV up into fourth place. Red Bull 1-2 yet again. Haas getting all squirrely. That's Ardell, and that's Rhythms going for a spin and collecting Matty Sauber as well. Ending in tears for them. But it's a dream for the Red Bulls, 1 and 2. There's your strategies. They say they can one-stop then. Red Bull 1 and 2. They're all squabbling in the midfield. Ardell and Isha wheel to wheel. Scorchip is Estia wheel to wheel. 2x2 through turn 10. And oh, off the road goes Ardell. He's been pushed off by Isha. Through goes multiple cars then. He's lost a lot of places. Scorchip Possestia wheel to wheel. Possestio getting the best of that. But it's Red Bull running away with it. Dylan third, trying to hold in the train. Then it's SV. Isha getting through on Titan, who's up to 9th. He's had a fantastic start. Resilience has lost a few places as we continue to watch the midfield scrap. More wheel-to-wheel action. That's the Williams of Timbed on Ryan. And that's Rhythm sending it down the inside of Mythic. And they make contact. Contact made. Rhythms through. Ardell and Resilience. The two Haas's going wheel-to-wheel now. What can they do? Through turn 4 we go. Ardell trying to take the fight. He's on the inside, which turns to the outside here. Through turn 5, can Ardell get the job done on the outside? Still wheel-to-wheel between the two Haas's. But Resilience finally gives the place up as Timbed holds off Supervillain for just a little bit longer. All happening there in the midfield. But we turn back to the front of the field as Devin has already pulled a second on Wilson. Dylan in third. Finally have time to look at positions gained here. Titan the big winner. He's up 5 spots then. Great stuff there from Titan. And we have RPL, Ardell, and Timbed going wheel to wheel. Devin fastest lap. Let's look at the tire situation. Everybody bar from Rhythms on the hards as Dylan just missed it and he overtook Wilson for second place. Rhythms getting past Ryan as well. Entertaining stuff then in the opening runs of the race. We have a crash. It's Ryan and Rhythms. It's been a horrible start to the season for Ryan. He got straight-lined by Leon in Silverstone, and it's just been going downhill from there. The change of scenery to Sauber doesn't seem like it's helped. Him and Rhythms have collided, and they've crashed. R.I.P. Ryan, but it's Tier 3. There's always a chance for action to happen, but the polar opposite of action is happening at the moment. Everybody's staying in a train for the time being. Closest I see is SV. SV, you'll get the DRS on Wilson, but it is a bit of a DRS train at the moment. And I don't think Wilson's close enough to go for an overtake. Thinks about it, thinks better of it. Wheel to wheel though, Titan's losing 9th, and he's losing 10th as well, as Resilience and Exo both get by him on the same straight. Far from ideal for Titan, who's in hot lap for some reason. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays out for him. But we have Devin starting to run away with this one. Ardell getting past Titan as well. Seems like Titan not having the race pace to keep up with the midfield guys of Tier 3. Behind him now is Timbed. We'll see if Timbed can get by as well. Bit of a fight happening behind them between the two RBs of Mythic and Supervillain. But they're just staying in their own DRS. Off the road goes Titan. Probably got a warning from that one. Not ideal to his race. Resilience is about to lose DRS to Exo, and he has. So this has now turned into a battle for 10th place. Resilience, Ardell, Titan, and Timbed. Your running order here in this midfield scrap. But here's Ardell with the DRS and the overspeed and breezing by his teammate. And Timbed has also made the move on Titan. So, positions changing once again in this midfield scrap. Ardell, the lead Haas, and now in the final points-paying position in P10. Back up front, though, battle for P2, still raging on here. Wilson hasn't been able to get close enough to mount an overtake to get back past Dylan. But at the moment, they are just losing a bit of time to the leader of Devon. Devon hasn't gotten... I don't think Devon's even won a race this season so far. Closest he got... He's got 2 P2s to his name. He finished second in Bahrain. Finished second at Silverstone. So, Devon would love to finally get his first win of the season in his belt. But still a lot of racing left to come. We're on lap 6 of this Grand Prix. As Wilson has a look, tried to go down the inside, but the move was never going to be on. Forced to stay behind for yet another lap. Might have some battling here for P11 here. Down the inside goes Timbed. Tries to get the move done on Resilience, but Resilience says no. But now, unfortunately, he's lost touch on his teammate. And the first pit stop has already happened. It is Matty. He's pitting for a new wing and a set of hards. Unfortunately, he will have to two-stop this race. Hards will not go to the end. SV's left. He has lagged out. I gotta get him an invite as quick as I can. RIP SV. He's already lost a huge amount of positions. He is lost. He's gonna lose out to Isha as well. Oh man, that sucks for SV. He is gonna lose so much ground. He's not had the most luck this season. Lost a win at Silverstone due to a pit lane penalty. He crossed the pit entry line, but through goes Wilson on Dylan. Wilson up into second place. And it's a Red Bull 1-2 once more. Nutrez sitting in P4 now after the lag out of SV, who has rejoined us. But he's rejoined us all the way back with where EXO is. EXO will get past SV for P8. Oh, and it sucks. That's the second time he's disconnected. Down the inside goes Dylan. And he's lost the back end. And he has to concede the place to Wilson yet again. All this battling just allows Devon to pull away more and more. And now Dylan might actually just have to consider a defensive maneuver against Nutrez. Nutrez, of course, he would love to get past Dylan here so he can mount a charge against his title rival Wilson. Remember, 19 points between these two in the championship. At the moment, that'll only grow. I believe Wilson would have a full race advantage if things stay as is. Midfield scrap kicking off, though. SV is back in, but he's behind Ardell now. In the battle for what is now 9th place. I saw that in the background. That was Timbed going for a spin. And I believe he has crashed as well. Meanwhile, up front, Nutrez has got past Dylan. Everything kicking off there. Timbed has lost out in the points fight. And SV trying to go around the outside of Ardell, keeping it clean there between the two. SV is through and now has to start his comeback drive. Meanwhile, Dylan, we just saw it going through turn 1. He loses P3 to Nutrez. A lot of racing still left here. Nutrez now only a 3-point swing between him and Wilson as things stand. It would be a 22-point lead in the favor of Wilson. Nutrez knows he's gotta beat him today if he wants to continue this title fight. Losing here would be devastating for him as Timbed exits the pits. It's not been a good one for him or Matty. Ryan's had a stinker as well. He pitted earlier. But a second gap between Wilson and Nutrez, but Nutrez managed to get the DRS, so he'll be able to reel in the Red Bull just a little bit. Still remaining all in the DRS train, though. And speaking of in this DRS train, have a look at Scorch in P6 at the moment. What a drive he's had so far. He's managed to stay in the lead train the entire time in this Aston Martin. He has had himself a great day, as opposed to his teammate, who's had a bit of a stinky winky. Which, speaking of his teammate, he's gonna battle the two RBs of Supervillain and Mythic. He's through on Supervillain, tries to go around the outside of Mythic. That was never gonna happen, and Supervillain's got back past him. Battles happening all up and down the field today, while Devin, now with a 4-second advantage over Wilson. The advantage only grows for the Red Bull driver. Of course, 1-2 in this race, which means their lead in the Constructors' Championship is only going to grow. They have a 28-point gap over Ferrari, and oh boy, Rhythms is the first one into the 3-second penalty club. Rip Rhythms. His stinky day just got worse. Here's Notraz. He's trying to do something about Wilson, just a bit too far back again to utilize that Ferrari power, as Ardell is into the pits on his medium tires. Oh boy, Wilson's made a mistake. He's gone off at turn 3. Nutraz takes second now. Not ideal there for Wilson. He has lost the place, and Nutraz takes P2. That is exactly what he would have wanted in the grand scheme of things. He's right on board with Wilson, and we no longer are right on board with Wilson as he tries to chase down Nutraz yet again to come towards turn 10. Gap about 6/10, probably feeling the dirty air greatly through these medium speed corners. Dirty air is probably not very good around here at all. Gap 6/10 though, through the final 2 corners we come. We'll see if Wilson is close enough to go for the move on Notraz. DRS open, but just not able to gain anything there. Not much he could have done. We got battling towards the back. It is Rhythms, Mythic, and Supervillain yet again, but this time, Rhythms gets ahead of both of the RBs. Into the pits comes Supervillain. A couple more pit stops happening. Resilience now onto the hard tire. We'll see where he comes out in terms of him and Ardell. Ardell's pitted for mediums as well. That locks him in to a 2-stop strategy. So we'll see what Ardell can do with those mediums. Should be able to pull a gap. We'll head back to the front of the field. In this fact, actually, close battle between EXO and SV here. SV has pulled 8 seconds on Titan. He'll have to pit soon, though. There's no way those tires can last very much longer. SV, does he look for a move in turn 10? No, he doesn't. He will wait for the pit straight. Williams and Mercedes here going wheel to wheel. Both of the same academy. Nobody in the top 7 pits. So it's just the midfielders who have pitted so far. SV, almost loses the back end. Should be an easy move for SV, though. EXO moves out of the way. Should be easy does it for SV, and that'll see him into 8th place. But he's got a long way to go if he wants to catch the leaders. He's got 6 seconds to Isha in the McLaren. And Isha's had a really lonely race so far. He lost touch with the lead train. And we have a crash. Who is it? It is Ryan. He has gone off, and he's gone a lap down. Lapped on lap 12 of this race. It has been a tragic one for Ryan. And it's only going to get worse for him. A lap down. Not good for him. Huge lead, though, for Devin. 4.5 seconds. 8/10 between Notraz and Wilson. Wilson has a bit more battery, though. But look how close Dylan is. He was close, but it's like the dirty air caught him out a little bit. I think Bezestio's been caught out by something as well. He has lost touch to Dylan. So, he's lost the DRS to them, which means it's just him and Scorch for P5. Isha 4 seconds back. SV into the pits. EXO into the pits. Both for hard tires. This will help SV's race a little bit with a bit of an undercut. Titan stays out. And interesting. Soft tires for EXO. That'll be most certainly a 2-stop for him. And both of them will come out of the pits ahead of Resilience. Resilience down in 13th. Hasn't been the greatest day. In the wall goes Titan. He's gone. Oh, he's reset the track. Oh, he's got a puncture. He has reset the track, and he's got a puncture. Has Titan. He's gone off, and he's in the wall because he has punctured the left front tire. He took those mediums one too many laps. Unbelievable stuff for Titan. He was having a great day running in the points, but that'll ruin his day. And at the same time that puncture happens, all of the front runners are in the pits. Wilson's in, Bezestio's in, Scorch is in, Isha's in. All of them. Hard tires. Wow. Puncture for Titan on lap 13 of this race. He could not make the mediums last long enough. And it's really unfortunate for Titan. That completely ruins his race. Unless we get the intervention of a safety car. Rhythms has gone hard. So he's on a 2-stop as well. That's interesting. Zestio 4 seconds off. Titan will get to the pits. Not after dropping to effectively last place. And he's hit the pit wall. Titan's hit the pit wall as well. Bad to worse for poor Titan. He's going to be running with Ryan for the rest of this race. As into the pits comes the remaining of our drivers. Is Devin watching the punctured Titan go through the pits. The last 3 of our front runners make it without getting a puncture. Wilson will get a nice little undercut here on his teammate. And I do wonder if these guys will get all the way to the end of the race. Here's Wilson hugging the pit wall. Interesting. But this might actually be a little bit close here between Notraz and Wilson. Remember, Notraz was ahead initially, but now Wilson gets ahead of Notraz. He uses that undercut to get ahead. Wilson back into second place. Notraz, he might have dropped to third, but he's got 1 lap fresher tires as there's Titan's Ghost hanging out with the front runners of this race. And behind them, Scorch has jumped Bezestio, or he's passed him and I missed it. That's great stuff there. Timbed and Supervillain going wheel to wheel. It's been the tale of woes there for Timbed. He had a crash coming out of turn 12. And now he's battling the 2 RBs. Remember, it was Rhythms before. Now it's Timbed. Scorch and Bezestio battling for 5th. 2 seconds back is Isha. SV trying to do some sort of comeback drive. He's sat in 8th at the moment. Can't really do much about it, though. Everything's settling in at the moment. I thought I just saw Titan fly off the track for a second. But he didn't. He just probably went a little bit wide. But serious battles going on. But here we go. Here's a battle right here. Bezestio down the inside of Scorch. Back into 5th place is the Ferrari driver. That'll be what he wants. It's been a pretty decent race there for Bezestio. Nothing special, but he has lost the DRS to the top 4 in this race. So looks like it's just going to be a battle for 5th for him. And supposedly he's ran a purple first sector. And 8th place, we have SV and EXO. EXO's probably already feeling the wear of those tires. Could have a battle brewing here for P13 between Mythic and Timbed. Mythic's had a quiet race. I haven't seen him make any mistakes, just lacking pace in that RB. It doesn't look like it's been a fun one for him. Zestio now 3.4 seconds back on Dylan. I wonder if he can close that gap in just a little bit. Now it's 3.5. Maybe that gap isn't closing. Because Dylan, with a dosage of DRS, will watch Notraz go down the inside. Titan's retired. He's out. That'll be penalty points for him. But Wilson holds off the challenge of Notraz. And Titan is our first DNF of this race on lap 17 of the race. RIP Titan. Unfortunate for him after a puncture on lap 13, I believe. Yeah, puncture lap 13 pretty much took him out of the race. But Notraz not giving up in his fight with Wilson. Our two championship rivals going wheel to wheel here in Spain. Not for P1 though, because P1 belongs to Devin, who holds a 5-second lead on these two. As Supervillain gets past Timbed, and that is because Timbed has spun out in turn 3. Bad to worse for Timbed. It's been such a bad day for him. Another spin. As Titan's ghosted DNF'd car pulls over in turn 4. Here comes Notraz. Is he going to have another look into turn 1? Thinks about it. Thinks better of it. But Scorch has a look, and he gets the move done before he even gets to turn 1. Back into 5th place is Scorch. It's been a good race for him in that Aston Martin. 5th place would be a huge effort for him in a car that really shouldn't be finishing in 5th place, let alone battling Ferraris and McLarens. Isha, though, has finally started catching these guys. He's been in a race all by his lonesome basically the entire day. And it looks like he can finally start having some fun in a fight with these guys. Meanwhile, behind them, SV, I think he is slowly gaining ground. Gap 5.4 seconds. And we go back to the fight between these three for the podium places. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Rest of the field pretty spread out behind the top 7. We have battles between Timbed, Maddie, and the two RBs. But other than that, everybody just running line and stern with their own gaps. Here we go. Notraz is boosting. Boosting all he can, using the entire battery. He might have a go here into turn 1. He does have a go. Down the inside goes Notraz. This time he's got the job done. Notraz takes 2nd place of this race. A move that has been multiple laps in the making. Notraz dumps the battery, and he's got the job done on his title rival. Up into 2nd place is the Ferrari driver. Now, can he take the fight to Devin, or will it just be all in vain? And that is Ryan about to get lapped by the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place runners. Ryan might help his teammate, his academy teammate, with a dosage of DRS. And we've completely missed this, but Scorch has dropped Isha and Possestio. They've been battling this one out, and Isha, who's been all by himself all day, finally getting some battling, and he's past Possestio for P6. Possestio falling to 7th. Now can Isha fight his way to getting by Scorch? Ooh, almost on the fine limits of the track there. Here's Dylan, thinking about a move on Wilson, but he does not get the job done. He'll have to hold 4th place for the time being. Meanwhile, Devin's pulled a 6-second lead over all these guys who've been battling. Ooh, lock up from Devin. First mistake I've seen from him. And Scorch gets past the AI. That's not AI, that's just Ryan getting lapped. Isha and Possestio still having a little bit of action here. Half a second between them. The only other battles are outside of the points, so we'll focus on these unless the ones towards the back start getting spicy. Isha will actually get some DRS off Ryan, who almost spins out. That is not what Isha would have wanted. I would hate to see all of his hard work on this stint get put to rest. Speaking of hard work, it's all gone to heaven for Wilson. He's gotten a 3-second penalty. That'll take him out of the podium fight. And to only make matters worse, he's lost DRS on Notraz, who sets the fastest lap of the race. Fastest lap for Notraz, a penalty for Wilson. Not good. Into the pits comes Exo. He will make his second and most likely final scheduled stop here. And looks like we're going to have a COCOM here for the second half of this Grand Prix. We have a certain guy who was unfortunately retired after a puncture on lap 13. Titan has joined the call. Titan, if you want to include your audio, go for it. But unfortunate what happened there. Unfortunate what happened. Would you like to enlighten us on what went wrong on lap 13? Hold on. Hold on. Okay. There you go. Well, now I can say Titan has joined us. Before I introduce him, Dylan gets past Wilson for P3. Good move there. Gets the move done before he even gets to turn 1. Titan, welcome to the stream. And, what happened there on lap 13 of the Grand Prix when everything got undone for you?
Yeah, I was trying my best to go for a one-stop and was trying my best, but unfortunately, tire blew at 79% on the left front, and it was sucked because it happened right in the middle of turn 3, which sucked. Then that's how I wound up crashing in 4, which I was trying to get back to turn, but it just would not turn whatsoever. So because of it, I will confess I did reset the track, so I will take 2 penalty points for that stuff. And then while I was trying to get back into the pits, when I got into the final corner, crashed at the pit entrance, and for some strange reason, left side of the side pod got damaged. So I was like, oh, come on. Of course it gets side pod.
That pit retirement should be warranted then, if you have significant damage. In the midst of that conversation, like 3 different drivers all got track limit penalties. Scorch is in the box, as is Ardell and Mythic. So, and that's tragic for Scorch. He's had a fantastic race. He's dropped Isha, but now he has to drop him even more. Gap's only 1.6 seconds. That will not be enough to hold 5th place. He's had a great day in the Aston Martin. I would hate to see that get undone for him.
Yeah, very much so. It wouldn't be good at all if that wound up really screwing him up just a bit.
I mean, at the moment, he should only lose 1 place, but we're going to focus on this fight for second. Notraz and Dylan. Dylan got past Wilson during our conversation with you. He's now trying to take the fight to Notraz, who is also the title contender. He could really use this P2. He's got to hold off Dylan here if he wants to properly be in this title fight. Gap 19 points. This would bring it down to, I think, 12? Don't quote me on that, but regardless, Notraz is going to try and hold on to this place as best as he can. Dylan not close enough that time. He will stay in 3rd place as they lap. I believe that is Mythic.
Yeah, Mythic currently getting laps, so that's a few more that's being lapped over. And yes, it's going to be some great racing in regards to this, as Devin's just running off with it. Navras trying to hold off the McLaren to get wrecked, and Wilson right behind. Unfortunate for Wilson to be getting himself in the penalty box, but sometimes that does happen in recursive racing, unfortunately.
It happens, and speaking of it happens, SV has also joined the penalty club with a 3-second of his own. That will not affect his race, though. He has a 14-second gap between him and Resilience for P8, so that'll be nothing serious for him. But Isha finally starting to close in on Scorch. Of course, he's got him on penalties, so won't be too much of a big deal. As get wrecked, Dylan still in the DRS. Can't do anything about it though. Looks like he's just gonna play the long game here. Probably dump his battery if he gets a little bit closer. And Isha did get the DRS on Scorch that time, so that'll help him. And Bezestio's been dropped by these guys. It's not been the greatest day for him. He was running in 5th, but just been let down by the pace. It hasn't come to him, and he might actually be he's getting reeled in by SV as well. I know he would not want that as Resilience pits.
Yeah, Resilience heading into the pits as getting off of the position that he is in, down in 10th right now. So Adele will come out just ahead of him. Yeah, Isha trying to regain the positions that was lost. And, because on the first lap, he got into a tangle with Ardell out of turn 10. That lost him quite a few spots. But he's recovering those positions, and with the penalties applied, he'll get another one towards the end.
Ooh, off the track goes Isha as you say that. Went off the road in turn 13. That won't aid his chances. He's close, but not close enough. And speaking of not close enough, Dylan's still not close enough to get past Notraz, and he is slowly running out of time here. So I would say sooner rather than later if I were him. If he has the pace, he can get past Notraz and think about dropping him, with thanks to the dirty air that this game provides. But these are really the only battles going on here. We got 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th, 6th, 7th. Everybody else all having their own races. Really not in any DRS battles. So these are the battles for position as Scorch gets past the lapped car of Supervillain. Supervillain is also on fresh mediums though, so he might actually fight this one out with his Academy teammate. Rhythm sets the fastest lap of the race on his mediums, a 15-0. Not like it matters. The point's gone.
Yep, fastest lap is pretty much done and dusted. What used to be it used to get you an extra point, but it does not apply now anymore.
And with him being P12, he wouldn't get it anyway. So
That's too.
Oh well for Rhythms. Maybe some bragging rights. As we watch Wilson here, he is still following this DRS train. Just can't do anything about it. As Dylan's still locked behind here. Notraz, pretty decent on the battery. Dylan's a little bit better, though, at 75%. Notraz at 60. Wilson at 70. So, all these guys running similar in the ERS department. And in the battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th, these guys using a bit more of their battery, as Isha on the overtake button at the moment. And, okay, using overtake in the braking zone is interesting. Still using overtake. As Resilience gets past Ardell for P10.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And looks like quite a few of these guys. Looks like it's been a mixture of people going 2 stops, and we have the top 7 currently in the 1 stop. Let's see, 13 laps, 12 on the hards, and all that stuff. So they pitted towards the lap 14, 15 area. So that means they have definitely done pretty well in their regards to tire management.
Zestio's in. He couldn't do
Yeah,
it.
but that's just in, actually. So maybe those hards are just too shredded for him.
Probably could not make him last. But luckily for him, he's got a big gap over SV. So he should be okay. He goes on a set of mediums that'll see him to the checkered flag. Unfortunate for him, though. He was in the fight with Isha and Scorch. but that'll put an end to his day. So it'll be most likely a P7 finish for Bezestio, so long as he doesn't crash it. Devin has 2-3 more laps to go before he gets to the safety car cutoff. That's all he's thinking about at the moment. Praying a safety car does not end his day. Maddie into the penalty club.
I'm currently on board with Wilson right now, as he's got Get Wrecked right ahead of him, and he's also in pursuit of Not Raz, but it's pretty much Devin's race to lose at this moment with that 8-second gap over Not Raz. So let's see what happens here, and looks like Get Wrecked is not close enough for an attack as of yet. So you'll need a little more gain in order to get it to go for a shot.
We got a battle for P11 here, and this is actually a pretty important one. Ardell and Rhythms. Rhythms is on much fresher medium tires. If he can get past Ardell quickly, he can go for resilience. And defensive maneuver from Ardell. Round the outside goes Rhythms. Can't get it done. SV fastest lap. Tries the up and under, does Rhythms. Can't get it done, though. But he should be able to get this move done in the DRS zone of turn 1.
Yeah, Ardell's really holding Rhythms back at this moment just to allow Resilience to run off with that 10th place. I mean, but bear in mind though, both Ardell and Rhythms do have track limit penalties anyways, so it's not going to have them switcheroo.
Round the outside, and they've hit each other. They've gone off. It's ended in tears for Ardell and Rhythms, and they've hit each other again there as they rejoin the track. It was almost identical to the F1 movie collision in Silverstone. I'm not gonna lie, but it's ended in tears for Rhythms and Ardell, and that'll end any hope of Rhythms scoring points today. It's game over for them, and that is unfortunate to say the least. I hate that one ended in tears. That could have been a really good battle.
Oh yeah. What do you think? What do you think on that one? Because it was a little tricky to tell on if Ardell waited a little later to turn in, or Rhythms turned in a tad bit too early. I mean, it could be a racing incident. You never know.
I mean, at least from my angle, it looked like Ardell turned in a bit late and Rhythms turned in a bit too early, and when two cars go for the same bit of tarmac, it ends in tears. So, but speaking of ending in tears, Dylan almost ended his own race. He had a huge snap of oversteer out of turn 11, and because of that, he's lost DRS to Not Raz.
And
this race, and we have a Sauber gone off. I don't know. That is Ryan.
Whoa. Cyril's that spun out, yeah.
Move made. Wilson gets ahead of Dylan.
Wow, move.
And that'll do it for Dylan. But remember, Wilson still has that penalty, which will end his chances of challenging. He's got to pull a 3-second gap in 3 laps, which, as good as our championship leader is, I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, so there's only a couple laps left to go, so Wilson really needs to pull the gap, so he's just got to hope that Get Wrecked makes a few more mistakes, and that can allow him to pull the gap that he needs to get it done. But I wonder what the tires are like for these guys, as they could probably be nursing these right to the tail end. Right 100%,
to the bitter end. Definitely. I looked at the left rear tire of Dylan, or Get Wrecked, and I have not seen many better looking tires than that, because that tire looks horrible. But he's 4/10 away from Wilson coming through the final corner. I think this should be close enough to go for an overtake. He's using the overtake button. 2 laps to go in this race. We will not see a safety car, and Dylan will get past Wilson. Back into 3rd place on track he goes.
A very solid move there, and a little bit further back, I'm seeing Isha trying to claw and catch Scorch, but not close enough at this present moment to go for the shot and go for the overtake. So Isha's gonna have to wait probably on the main street on the final at the start of the final lap to go for that shot.
Yeah, but you also have to remember, there is penalties for Scorch, so he will lose that penalty regardless. As that's Ryan off the track, isn't it? He's doing
He's
donuts.
going backwards for a little bit.
Ryan doing donuts. He no longer cares as he rejoins the track on that
He's basically he's trying to imitate Leon. That's what he's doing.
Maybe Leon straightlining him did more in the head than we thought. But Devin starts the final lap of this Grand Prix. Notraz second place with a 1 second gap over Get Wrecked, who has a 1 second gap over Wilson. So we have only 1 or 2 battles here that are inside a second. It's the 2 RBs who are a lap down fighting each other. And we also have Scorch and Isha, but one of them has a penalty. So we'll watch the
Getting
battle
closer
with
and
Scorch
closer,
and Isha.
but not.
Oh, here we go! Down the inside!
Almost. That was. Woo.
He tried it! He tried it, and I respect a man for trying, but I don't think that move was ever gonna be on for Isha. And it's probably killed what little he had left of his tires, because that front left looks horrible. That is not a good looking tire. Dylan gets back into DRS of Notraz. Wow, heart and mouth moment for Isha, but we go to Devin. I'm pretty sure he's led every lap of this race. He has played it calm, he's played it collected, pulled a huge gap over everybody else. A dominant display from Devin, who rounds the final corner, and this Devin wins the Spanish Grand Prix in dominant fashion. Notraz will come through the final corner. He'll have to settle for second place, but in the grand scheme of the championship, it's exactly what he needs against Wilson, who finishes 4th after the track limit penalties are applied. Scorch in 5th, a huge effort in the Aston Martin, but it will be in vain as Isha gets him off penalties. But Devin, after everything, absolutely crushed the competition today, an 8-second lead. Dominant stuff there as Possessio gets a penalty in the final corner as Timbed, was that Timbed or Exo? That was Timbed, absolutely eating it in the wall out of the final corner.
Yeah, I love that little goofing off.
Here comes Exo out of the final corner. XV joins the dog pile. Exo, in his return to RPL today, finishes in a very respectable 9th place for Williams. And Resilience, proving the washed allocations wrong, he finishes in 10th place, bringing home a point for the Haas team. And I won't lie, there were some great battles in that race, but from everything I've seen, that was easily the most boring one I've seen from Tier 3 so far. This track just never the best for racing. But Devin cruised home to a victory today for Red Bull. A huge day for him. Not in the title fight, but his first win of the season. Always good to at least get one win under your belt. Titan, what do you think about that one?
Yep. What a race! What a race! It was very good. Devin really holding it on and doing that dominant race in fashion, and then get wrecked with Wilson. That was a fun fight. Isha also a good fight as well. Wow, it was great action.
Great action indeed. Devin cruises home to a victory here in Spain. Notraz second, Dylan third, Wilson fourth, Isha good result in 5th after the recovery, Scorch 6th, Possessio 7th, SV 8th, he lagged out, Exo 9th on his return, and Resilience rounding out the points. Rhythms P11, Ardell 12th, the 2 RBs 13th and 14th, Maddie and Timbed and Ryan, the last of the finishers. Only one DNF today, and it's you.
Me.
But overall, driver of the day, that's a tough one to give. There weren't too many standout drives today. Honestly, the only one I could properly give it to Normally I don't give it to the guy that dominated, but Devin was the only one that properly maximized his race, pulled a huge gap, never looked back, never made a single mistake. And when I compared to everyone else's races, I don't think there was anybody that had a better drive than him. So, he's my driver of the day, unless you have any other takers, Titan.
Well, I mean, my taker, I would probably go off of the overall kind of thing. I would probably I'm thinking of giving it to Get Wrecked, because the pole that he got, it's his first ever pole in RPL. He never had pole ever in his RPL career. And to get onto the podium for like the first time in like ages in regards to RPL as a whole, that I think is a solid comeback. Solid comeback story for Get Wrecked in hindsight. So I would say probably would have to give it to him.
That's respectable. I can completely respect that. Like you said, first ever pole in RPL, and he's been one of the original members. Been here since, I don't know if he's been here since day one, but he's been there. He's been in the league a very long time. And great to see him.
I think he was one of the day ones.
Great to see him not only competing up front, but finally in a good car. A car deserving for him, and he proved it today. Had a few decent results in the Sauber before the season, but it was a good day for him. Pole position, a podium. Can't complain with that.
Very much agreed on that.
But that'll do it for today's Tier 3 stream. Make sure you join us tomorrow, where Tier 2 takes to the streets of, oh good lord, it's Monaco. So, we're ready for some terrorism and some people getting straight-lined in corners, because that's the only way you're passing anybody. Make sure you join us for a very exciting race tomorrow. Tier 1 will take to Imola in Italy for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Could be one of the final Emilia-Romagna races in Tier 1 with the track off the calendar. We'll see if EA add that track to the game next year. But should be an exciting one in Imola. A lot of fast drivers around there. We'll see what they can do. But that'll do it for Tier 3. Next week's race is in Austin, Texas for the US Grand Prix. Make sure you join us for that one. Should be a fun one. But for Titan Iron Wolf, this is Beatnik714 signing off. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.